I start looking at it, and then I'm like emotions start coming to me.
For Susan Marinello, abandoned buildings are works of art.
We're so used to seeing pictures of landscapes, of beautiful events, but there's a certain quality that these buildings have. Although you might see it as this ugly piece of concrete, I like to bring out the beauty in things.
We had permission to enter this one, but that's not always the case.
The Baker Hotel in Mineral Wells is an old historic hotel built in the 20s, and it's been abandoned for about the last 20 years. So it's just sitting there with a lot of the old remnants in the hotel. You know, I saw an open door and I walked right in.
She posted a selfie from her visit to the hotel on Twitter. 4 weeks later, an anonymous tipster sent the photo to Mineral Wells police.
I received a call from the detective saying that I was being issued a citation for trespassing, and about 5 days later I received it in the mail.
She likes the feeling of being alone and capturing that feeling.
There's just like this unique quality of something that had been lived in and now gone, like everybody's gone. So it's almost like a post-apocalyptic feel.
She says she finds old buildings like this hauntingly beautiful because it gives her just a small glimpse into what life was like many years before.
Houses burn down and they just leave everything because it's easier than picking it all up. And it's almost like an eerie quality, like you said. It's a total eerie quality.
Her favorite pictures tell a story of what people leave behind, like baby dolls, a bed, or a lonely chair.
And then any little details of like who that person might have been. A pair of keys, like, you know, any documents. I found some checks.
She says she has learned something from her run-in with the law, but doesn't have any plans to stop entering these abandoned buildings.
I have a passion for this, and so I don't think I'll ever stop, but the way I do it will probably change. For example, permission. So
Marinello plans to compile all of her favorite photographs by the end of the year and publish a book called Beauty in the Forgotten. With photojournalist Andrew Wood, Ashley Claster, Fox 34, News at 9.
Strapped and ready for his big day.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
This Santa isn't going down a chimney. He's going up to the 3rd floor.
Santa in a fire suit at that. That's pretty amazing.
Knock, knock.
Santa traded in his fire hose for a toy bag and handed out presents to 17 kids at Covenant Children's Hospital,
Can you show me where Ronaldo's at?
including 10-year-old Ronaldo.
How about one of those? You like that?
These donated toys are keeping Andrew Villarreal's memory alive.
It's just a very emotional time, you know, to be a mom of a little boy that's not here anymore.
Before he died of a heart defect, Andrew, known as the Little Man, always dreamed of being his hero, a firefighter.
Anywhere we saw an engine, he would clap and say, "There's my heroes," and would just be ecstatic and so excited just to see a red engine drive by. So Andrew recognized that firemen are heroes and helpers.
After his passing, Sasha Downing, his mom, made it her mission to give back.
So Andrew always, you know, it made it a little easier to come into the hospital, knowing that he could have a toy or ask for a toy, or it's just a small token, but it makes a big difference in a child's life. And so we knew that would be a good way to keep his memory alive by giving back to the other kids in the hospital.
And Lubbock firefighters answered the call to help out with the toy drive, Andrew's mission.
We don't do what we do just to get a pat on the back, or we do it because we like to do it and we love to do it.
A little boy's legacy that is leaving a mark on those forced to spend the holidays in a hospital.
As long as we're together and we got good people around us, you know, that's all I can ask for.
With photojournalist Andrew Wood, Henry Ramos, Fox 34, News at 9.
Yep, check. Maybe a little bit more guitar on top.
It's a night that we have every Monday night at the Blue Light. Anybody that wants to share their original music.
Good evening, Lubbock, Texas.
I pick you up and take you out.
This land made me stronger, made me who I am.
Instead of an open mic, it's more dedicated to songwriters.
When I was young back in 99. riding my bike and having fun, no care in the world.
I ain't broke, I'm just rolling low tonight. There's a neon eagle on the edge of town.
Tumbleweeds rolling, rolling, snakes on the ground.
The songwriter performing their own original music, and that's all that we allow on Mondays.
I'm a songwriter, so I'll get up there with a guitar.
Hear me, son, write something new, don't play a rerun, and I'm telling you simply, it's a well-known fact.
So you kind of get out and see what everybody's doing.
Well, baby, I'm over the fake love you didn't give.
It's burning, burning, deep in the ground, deep in the ground, deep in the ground.
There's plenty of open mics and open jams around town, just about any night of the week. One thing that I think is special here is that it's the songwriter performing their own original music.
Take me back to the start.
Heaven, help me, give me more time.
You could say it's a big family, it's a big unit, a great night of fellowship among songwriters.
I've worked all week in my living room on music, and it's a chance to go, hey, what do you think?
Thank y'all. My name's Today Steele.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, y'all.
Jax is a bred and trained service dog.
We got him through Guide Dogs for the Blind, and he was career changed. So we wanted to keep him working, and he does a great job as our chief cheer officer right here at Ronald McDonald House.
He's the first service dog to be placed within the organization and is on a best friend basis with Hunter.
So good to see you.
Jax has brought a lot of happiness to Hunter. Every time we come here, he's excited to see him, and that's his main thing when he does get here is he wants to see Jax. So it really brings a lot of joy to him.
It warms my heart, but it also means it's working. That what the vision that we had for a house dog here at the Ronald McDonald House has grown to a point that it's working.
Hunter has been staying with the Ronald McDonald House off and on since he was diagnosed with leukemia in October of last year.
Hunter is a special soul, and he is one of our cancer warriors. I think any child fighting cancer deems that title of warrior. And he and Jax have just developed a great little buddy friendship.
Hunter and his family live in Odessa, and when it's time to travel to Lubbock, they tell Hunter they're going to see Jax.
Gives them more to look forward to versus just we're going to Ronald McDonald House for treatment. So it brings them a lot of joy.
Jax just really looks forward to Hunter coming into the Ronald McDonald House, and Hunter really looks forward to Jax when he's here at the house or when he's over at the hospital.
Jax brings joy to the patients and their families.
Because illness doesn't affect just the child. It affects the whole family.
It means a lot having him in there. The biggest thing is, like I said, is making Hunter happy, making him smile, and taking the burden off of him of coming in and scared to death of needles and stuff, so he thinks of Jax.
I think it's just seeing their smile, and I do think for just a little bit of time, they forget about their illness, and their day is brightened by a four-legged family member. They really do look at Jax as part of their family now.
Jax and Dina are a therapy team. They can go to any hospital to spread a smile or two.
He leaves a little bit of his heart right there on the bed of the patient. That's where he needed to be. So he knew that Hunter was about to have his chemo treatment and that he would need some comfort and love, a little distraction. And so Jax is all about that.
Jax has been a part of many highs and lows for children and their families.
He just spreads comfort and cheer to anyone that he encounters. And so for the families, it's usually those soft strokes, and he probably has heard more secrets, and I don't know what's going to happen. And it's just a great way for the families to kind of have that comfort.
Jax and Dina have traveled the country, helping other chapters to get a house dog, a chief cheer officer, just like Jack's. With photojournalist Andrew Wood, Samantha Waddell, Fox 34, News at 9.
He's tucked into an alcove very near where high finance is conducted, right next to the Plains Capitol break room. Lonnie Nelson is conducting business of his own.
You never get too old to shine shoe, and you're never too young.
The shoe shiner has been polishing footwear since he was 10. All right. I take a seat, figuring he knows what he's doing.
They're too expensive.
I ask how he stepped into this trade at such a young age.
You go to school, the other kids were dressed real nice and everything, and I wasn't that fortunate.
He worked to be as fortunate.
What they call hustle, me some money to buy me some tennis shoes.
He'd make shoes sparkle for just 5 cents. And now,
Instead of a nickel, look, they want $5.
$5 doesn't sound like much, but with Nelson's work ethic, it adds up.
$200 to $300 on a good week, wow. And that would be easy.
Nelson knows any good businessman practices money management.
When you go and buy this stuff, you have to take the money that you have to turn over back into the business. And if you don't, then when someone come up, you don't have enough polish to shine.
And sometimes being a polisher comes with pressure.
A person can't mess up a $400 or $500 pair of boots or $1,600 pair of boots.
Do a quality job.
And they tip you. Some give you $5 or $10 tip.
Nelson knows he won't get rich shining shoes, but the barbershop atmosphere at his polishing station pays him in other ways.
You have a lot of people come through here that counsel you. I listen and try to learn.
And I'm betting customers learn a thing or two from Nelson.
Don't trip out, man, and think the world's gonna come to an end. I say, be successful, think positive, and go on.
With photojournalist Andrew Wood, I'm Brittany Price with Your Money Matters.
One day I'll be able to walk and 5 seconds later I'll be on the ground.
That's a daily concern for 11-year-old Caleb Gilbert.
When Caleb was born, we noticed that he had a little bit of ribs, some little bumps on his ribs. We took him to the pediatrician. She said, well, maybe it's just some cartilage issues. We'll just watch it and see what happens. And so we kind of just left that alone until he was about 2.
That's when doctors diagnosed him with a rare bone disease.
Multiple hereditary exostosis.
He has little bumps, which are actually abnormally forming new bone on most of the bones. And sometimes they're little projections that look like a stalactite or a stalagmite. Other times it just distorts the bone and it grows, bigger around.
Caleb had 2 serious operations because of his condition.
4th grade, we had to have extensive surgery on his arm. So Dr. Gutau actually went in and cut his bone off, flipped it over, plated it back together. He actually still has those plates in there now.
Even with a cast on his writing hand for the start of the school year, Caleb's determination for success was still there.
Just learned to write with my right hand and I was good with that.
And then this April we went in and had to have his ankle fused together.
I'm a very independent person. Being in a wheelchair was definitely the hardest so far, since everybody had to push me around and everything.
These setbacks have made Caleb stronger.
It's so hard to watch him go through the pain and the surgery, but it's also amazing to watch him overcome and to come out of it almost better than what he went in. He's had this amazing compassion and he really, really wants to help people and make them aware of what MHE is.
That gave Caleb the idea to host a fun walk and 5K, another leap of faith, hoping to raise awareness and money for a cure.
The walk's named Warriors for MHE after my favorite Bible verse, put on the full armor of God. I think God gave us this idea, not just our friends.
Faith has been the reoccurring focus of Caleb's medical journey.
If we haven't had God on our side, then everything would have probably been a lot more painful.
I can see him changing other people's lives because he has all these pain issues, he has all these things, restrictions on his life, and he never lets that slow him down. He takes those in stride. He tries to do better and he tries to help other people. So our faith has grown amazingly because of him and his faith.
Hello,
thanks God for giving him the best doctor at Covenant Children's, making those numerous hospital visits not so bad.
Dr. Gutile, he's definitely the best doctor here because of the fact that he just knows what the kids are like and he's able to take care of them.
It's a bummer having to come to the orthopedic surgeon over and over. But, you know, we try to make it as fun as we can, and we have a lot of fun, especially with we call them the frequent flyers.
It's been a comfort to know that you have somewhere that you can go that you know he's going to be taken care of.
All of the money raised at his fun walk will go to research for finding a cure for MHE. But since Caleb already has the disease,
I doubt that this cure will really benefit me, so I'm just doing it for everyone else with this disease.
Another example of the 11-year-old's selflessness.
Looking good. Take a fried green bean out, please.
Is everything okay, y'all? This right here is the cast iron grill. Thank you for coming today. I appreciate it.
Put her up, please. We get it in and out quickly, and so it works out good. 5 ounce 2 times, please. One of them's a sandwich.
It's everyday thing, so we're just used to it. You bring your game or not, you know.
The amazing regulars, everybody in here, I know in some form of fashion.
How you doing? Good. I'm gonna go this way.
How are y'all? Good.
Hey, darling, how are you?
Come on, Mr. Paul.
There you go, chopsticks ready.
Our chicken fried steak is homemade, and of course they're as big as your head.
Slice and a salmon, please.
We got a staff that works together. Everybody knows what to expect at a certain time of the day.
Great food, but even great service. The girls get to know the customers, and they take time out to know them. So it's like a big family here.
I like the service. They make it more one-on-one.
They're really down to earth, easy to talk to, really sweet people.
Excellent.
We opened it was 5 years in September. I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years. And I kind of felt a stirring that it was time for me to do something. The day that I pulled up to this old, dirty building, I kind of knew I was home.
It feels like home, and this is our home, and we're hoping the cast iron just does amazing.
The Cast Iron Grill is going to be taking a new journey. I've been looking for a year now to relocate this amazing place. This building is selling.
We just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and of course you can see how we just keep adding on to the building, and with our new building, it's open and there's a lot more room.
I love this building. It's kind of like watching your child grow, and it's time to move on.
I believe Teresa and this crew, you can take them anywhere and they'll be just fine.
All right, ladies, how did everything turn out for y'all today? Good. We're not going to talk about dessert today. Turtle pumpkin pecan.
That's what I want.
Turtle pumpkin pecan, just one, and it's to go, right? Okay, and I'll have that ready for you just a second, okay?
We're not just waitresses. We're not just cooks. We're actually serving people and making a difference in their day. I truly believe that this is my Heavenly Father's restaurant, and so I try to honor Him every day.
Bye, guys. Have a good day. Bye, you guys.